Talk to you Liverpool fans. Are you guys all right? It means more. Hashtag do it for Klopp. You guys were on a treble, actually a quadruple charge. Only, 3.5 weeks ago? And then what's happened? Liverpool's season officially ended after they lost to Everton in the Merseyside Derby. 2-0 to a team that's sitting 15th. That was a game that should have been an easy 3 points for Liverpool. When's the last time they lost at Goodison Park? I think that was 2010. I wasn't even watching football back then. I didn't get into this sport until 2014. I've never seen Liverpool drop points there. And I did a watch along for the game. And I was like, you know what? This isn't even a rivalry. This is more like when you go and you got to beat up your little brother because they're being annoying. Like, that's what Liverpool were doing to Everton for all these years. And now, out of all the clubs that have, or that could have, ended your title race, it just so happens to be the team that you're in the same city as. That is just insane to me. Because now Liverpool have nothing left to play for this season except for just pride and for not wanting to lose the last few games before Klopp officially leaves. But you guys were technically still in the title race, even though you lost to Crystal Palace. But now, it's over. You would need a miracle to win this title now, because you would need Man City and Arsenal to both drop points in multiple games. And I can't see that happening. I think Klopp, his era, yeah, he did all right. You know, he won every trophy that was available to him, except for the Europa League, because they ended up getting knocked out by Atalanta. But I think he's done all right. I think he has worked miracles at Liverpool, because FSG are a terrible ownership group. And let's not forget where Liverpool were before Klopp came in. And that's why I've been saying to all the Liverpool fans that listen, dark times are ahead. When Klopp leaves the club at the end of this season, you guys are going to be struggling for a bit, for at least a few seasons, because I believe it doesn't matter who the next manager that comes in. You guys are going to fail, and they will get sacked after like a season or two. Because when in the Premier League have you seen a legendary manager leave a club and then the next guy that replaces him just continues to win trophies and have fantastic results? It doesn't happen. And when you pair that with an ownership group that are stingy, that are not going to spend that much money, that's a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what I think Liverpool are headed for, is disaster. I said it. Once Klopp announced his, a few months ago when he announced that this was it for him, I was like, if Liverpool don't win the Prem this season, I can't tell you when the next times they will. Because I don't think it's just going to be Klopp leaving this summer. I think a few other players are out of there as well. I think you're going to have Mo Salah, who should be leaving because he looks cooked. I think Luis Diaz might leave. Van Dijk, Andy Robertson. I possibly think Trent might go as well, because he only has 12 months left on his contract. Why hasn't he signed a new deal yet? I thought that he was going to retire at Liverpool and be a one-club guy. So why should it matter who the next manager is? Trent should just be committed to the club. So whoever they bring in, he should be fine with. How come he's stalling on signing an extension? But see, people don't seem to realize that these footballers are not like you and I. Yes, you could have a player that is actually a fan of the club that he plays for. But for us, we support the teams no matter what. Like, I love Real Madrid no matter what happens. I don't care. Now, I'm going to criticize them if things are going wrong, and I'm going to show that I'm not happy. But I would play, if Real Madrid contacted me right now to play for them for $2 a week, I would do it. But when you're a professional footballer, this is your job. This is a business, and they're going to do what's best for them. And I think a lot of these players are sitting around saying, what's going to happen when Klopp leaves? Because I think that they've done a decent job in terms of being able to make it competitive with Man City. But let's be honest, the Premier League is the Farmers League. It's just the most entertaining Farmers League in the world. But you're about to have Man City win it for the 4th or 5th year in a row? But when you listen to all these English fans talk, it's like every other league is shit, but the Prem is just the creme de la creme. Or I don't even know if I said that right. But you guys know what I'm trying to say. When you have it where one team has won it 4 or 5 years in a row, it's no issues in England. But if PSG go do that in France, then oh yeah, the French league is shit, and like you can't watch that. It's awful. It's a bunch of hypocrisy. English teams aren't even that successful outside of outside of the Prem. Because in Champions League, in Europa League, it's the other countries whose teams usually win those trophies more times than not. Let's be honest. So, I don't know what Liverpool are going to do when Klopp heads out, but boy, it's not good. I don't think it matters who the next manager would have been. Whether it was Xabi Alonso, De Zerbi. I think they're linked to some guy that coaches Feyenoord in the Dutch league. I don't even know what their league is called. I'm the Eredivisie. I don't know nothing about him, but it does not matter. He's going to fail because when you have to replace the best manager that's ever managed at Liverpool, the pressure is going to be very high. Fans are going to be expecting you to compete and win trophies right away. And if your style of football does not match up to what they already have going on at Liverpool, they're going to be all on you. And you're not going to get that much time. Look at how Arsenal fans did Unai Emery. Arguably a better manager than Arteta, more proven, has won multiple European titles. And look how they treated him because he followed up Wenger. Look at Moyes at Man United after Sir Alex Ferguson left. I think the only way that a manager can succeed after replacing a legend is if the board fully backs him. If you have directors and if your transfer policy is going to be ambitious. So, for example, whenever Man City end up losing Pep, I think they're going to be just fine. I don't think they're going to dominate the Prem. I don't think that they're going to win 4 or 5 in a row. No. But they will still be one of the best teams in the world because their owners, their board, do not fuck around. They're going to spend the peas. They're going to bring in world-class players. At Liverpool, I don't think that's going to happen. Klopp made all of those players that you see there that you thought were world-class during his tenure, he made them world-class. None of them were world-class when he bought them. Didn't he buy Van Dijk from Southampton? And I know that cost a lot of money, but he wasn't world-class. Maybe you could say Alisson was, and Van Dijk. They're the two closest examples to a finished product. But Mo Salah, $35 million from Roma, was not world-class. Neither was Sadio Mane. Neither was Andy Robertson, Fabinho, Trent Alexander-Arnold from the academy. Like, what are we talking about here? So, yeah, man, Liverpool are cooked. It's over. I think that you guys are going to go back to sitting in 4th, maybe 4th through 6th. I think that's where you'll be. Maybe you'll be able to nick a FA Cup, a Carabao Cup. But, yeah, I hope that you enjoyed your time with Klopp and the success that you've had because I don't believe in you guys after this season. And whenever you see any of these transfer stories linking Liverpool to these big-name targets and they're going to spend $100 million on this guy and they're quoted for $100 or $90 million with this other player, it's all nonsense because you can't go and negotiate with any big-name players right now because they're all going to want to know who's the manager going to be. But yeah, Liverpool to me are cooked, not an attractive club. And I get it. You guys are the second biggest club in England on trophies, yada, yada. I understand that. But I just don't think that there's that much aura about them, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't see Liverpool as a club that players are saying, yo, we need to go to. And in the span of 3 weeks, with Klopp announcing his departure at the end of the season a few months ago, you guys were on for a quadruple. You beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. And I was like, yo, you know what? Maybe Liverpool might go on to win it because they know Klopp is leaving. But boy, in the last 3 weeks, you guys capitulated. After Man United beat you guys in the FA Cup, it's like your heads just dropped. I don't understand how you get slapped up by Atalanta that way. And I don't get how you lose to Crystal Palace and Everton. 2 teams that you should be definitely getting points off of. It's not good enough. So I understand, right? I think it's a double-edged sword before I move on. I think announcing that you're leaving at the end of the season, during the middle of the season, is idiotic. Because now that creates unwanted attention. Now that puts a lot of pressure on your players to go out there and win it. because everybody knows this is your last hoorah, you should say, right? So I was like, it's a bit weird to do that now. But from the club's POV, I think that what Klopp did is beneficial to them because now that gives them enough time to find another manager before the transfer window officially opens. So, me personally, I wouldn't have announced it in the middle of the season. I would have announced it after the season ended because now you end up with a situation like this where the only thing that you're going to have to show for it is the Carabao Cup in your last season. And that's embarrassing. That is a massive failure if you're Liverpool. And I know that they plan on doing like a parade for Klopp. And what you got to do is bring out every single trophy that he's won. You cannot just go out there and do a Carabao Cup thing. But and all jokes aside, though, before I move on, I know a lot of people are shitting on Liverpool, shitting on Klopp's legacy, saying that he's only won one Premier League title. And, he's basically what I heard Saeed say, my guy. He said, spicy Leicester City on his stream with Lee Gunner. I think that's ridiculous, if I'm being honest, just because, yeah, he's only won one Prem, but how come they don't bring up the Champions League, the Super Cup, the Club World Cup, the multiple FA Cups, and the Carabao Cups? I mean, come on, let's just be fair here. Klopp has won every trophy that he's competed for since he's been there, except for the Europa League, which they got knocked out this year by Atalanta. So, yeah, it's a sad end, but yeah, it's going to be rough for you guys, and we will be here. I know people are saying that you must be sick to be happy seeing Liverpool kind of fall off. And boy, I tell you, I am happy because I know a few annoying Liverpool fans, and this is what they deserve.